Here comes Tony, walking in the room, mic in hand, something about to boom. Tell me what you gotta say. Tell me, make it count today. Big Tony speaks, and everybody listens. Big Tony speaks, his voice just keeps on lifting. When Tony talks, you know you gotta hear him. Big Tony speaks. Sit right down, let me hear your voice. Share your thoughts, Tony gives you choice. Tell me what you gotta say. Tell me, make it count today. Your voice speaks, Big Tony speaks, and everybody listens. Big Tony speaks, his voice just keeps on lifting. When Tony talks, you know you gotta hear him. Big Tony speaks. Big Tony speaks. He's got something to say every single day. He's got something to say. Come on out and play. Big Tony speaks, and everybody listens. Big Tony speaks, his voice just keeps on lifting. When Tony talks, you know you gotta hear him. Big Tony speaks. Big Tony speaks. Big Tony. Big Tony speaks.
All right. Welcome back to Big Tony Speaks. I'm Big Tony, and I'm the only guy to voluntarily reading the news so you don't have to develop stress-induced eye twitches. Folks, I made one mistake this morning. I opened a news website. That was it. That's the mistake. 5 minutes later, I was pricing cabins in Montana. 10 minutes later, I was Googling, quote, how can you legally become a lighthouse keeper? By story number 11, I was ready to apologize to every history teacher who ever said, the future is bright. No, the future looks like somebody gave a raccoon some Wi-Fi, unlimited energy drinks, and the launch codes. You know, every day I wake up hoping humanity has learned something. And every day humanity says, hold my Mountain Dew. Speaking of which, in Kansas City, ladies and gentlemen, the Darwin Awards have entered their luxury edition. A grown man, an adult, a taxpayer, managed to fall into the sewage tank under a porta potty, a portable toilet, and stayed there for 8 hours. 8 hours. At that point, you don't need rescuing, you need reevaluating. Now, naturally, you're asking, I can hear it. Tony, surely he was rescuing a small child. No. Maybe somebody dropped some medicine? No, no. A wedding ring? Nope. Mountain freaking Dew. A bottle of Mountain Dew. Not even a 12 pack, y'all. One bottle. Folks, if your soda falls into a porta potty, congratulations, the earth has claimed it. It belongs to Poseidon now. Leave it alone. The chemical toilet has spoken. The man was apparently wedged in there until workers came to collect the portable toilets. Imagine unlocking the door, looking inside, seeing nobody, and then hearing, "Hey, a little help?" I'd have slammed that door shut so fast my Fitbit would have counted it as cardio. Then, out of the blue sludge, a human head emerges. Like the world's worst game of whack-a-mole. Except instead of tickets, you win therapy. The firefighters had to actually cut open the plastic tank and then hose this poor genius off with a fire hose. Just imagine that ride home. Yeah, what happened to you, man? I chased Mountain Dew. Into? Just don't. Mountain Dew's slogan is do the do. Hey, marketing department, I am begging you. Maybe add a footnote. Do not physically pursue the do into human waste. Because apparently that clarification has become necessary. And folks, we're just one story in. One. If this episode were an airplane, the oxygen masks would have already dropped. So let's go to New York, where entrepreneurship has officially reached its final form. Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce. Huge wedding, thousands of fans, confetti, celebration, joy. And one guy looked at the aftermath and saw garbage, not litter, opportunity. This entrepreneurial genius started collecting discarded trash. Then he sold it online, y'all. Used cups, wrappers, random junk, street garbage. People bought it. Imagine explaining this business model to your grandfather. So, what do? I sell celebrity adjacent refuse. Oh, you're unemployed. No, I'm an influencer. Somebody actually opened a package they paid for. They paid for, and inside, it's probably a napkin, a crushed bottle, and a pretzel that may have occupied the same zip code as Travis Kelce. That's not memorabilia. That's recycling with a fan club. You remember? I remember when people wanted autographs. Now they're buying evidence that somebody once sneezed nearby. This is capitalism after eating expired magic mushrooms. Um, somewhere, Oscar the Grouch is looking at this story and saying, I have been trying to tell you people. Meanwhile, eBay employees are probably reviewing the listings. Used soda cup, possibly breathed on, $79. That checks out. Folks, if you're spending rent money on celebrity garbage, your family needs to stage an intervention. Not a meet and greet, an intervention. And before anybody gets mad, I'm not insulting Swift fans. I'm talking about the people who looked at literal trash and thought, oh, collectible. Those are two entirely different species. Colorado, because apparently Florida got a weekend off. Witnesses spotted a completely naked man standing on top of a moving train. Not beside, not inside, on top. Like Spider-Man's unemployed cousin or something. Authorities say he broke into the locomotive, climbed onto the roof, and started surfing the train completely naked. Imagine being the engineer. Dispatch, go ahead. I've got a situation. Mechanical? No. Electrical? No. Well, what is it? I got a naked man doing Titanic poses on the roof. Copy that. Imagine being a deer in a nearby field. You're peacefully eating grass, living your best woodland life. Suddenly, a freight train flies by with a naked human riding it like he's auditioning for the world's worst superhero movie. That deer immediately walked back into the forest, looked at the other deer. We're staying hidden. Sheriff's deputies eventually arrested him. Good. Because if that wasn't enough to stop him, apparently shame wasn't available either. And let's appreciate the sheriff's social media post. They said he's now enjoying, quote, an all expense paid stay in jail. Translation: congratulations, you have won 3 meals a day because you lost a fight with common sense. Folks, if your vacation ends with naked train surfing, you didn't have an adventure, you had a software failure. So let's see. So far, we've covered a man scuba diving into a portable toilet for his Mountain Dew, people buying garbage, and a naked train surfer. We're only 3 stories in. There are 10 more to go. If you've got a stress ball, start squeezing. If you don't, borrow the nearest toddler's Play-Doh. You're going to need it. Let's head to Wales, where somebody finally returned library books that were checked out in 1910. One 116 years. Folks, those books weren't overdue. They were on a witness protection program. The grandson walks into the library carrying them like, sorry, I'm a little late. A little late, buddy. The librarian who checked those books out retired. The librarian after that retired. The building has probably had 3 renovations. The Dewey Decimal System has had a midlife crisis. And this guy strolls in like he got caught in traffic. Can you imagine opening the old checkout card? Borrowed, returned, eventually. Walter Owen checked these books out before sliced bread became a household staple. Before television, before air conditioning, before anybody had ever uttered the phrase, "Can you mute yourself on Zoom?" Those books witnessed history. They survived 2 world wars, the Great Depression, a moon landing, disco, the internet, streaming, AI, and somehow they still had fewer scratches than a DVD from Blockbuster. You know, somebody in that library whispered, "Don't scare him. He might have another one in the car." And let's give credit to the library. They waived the late fee. Good, because if they hadn't, the bill would have been somewhere around the GDP of a small island nation. Meanwhile, if you've still got that library book sitting on your coffee table from 6 weeks ago, you relax. You're basically early at this point. Seattle. Yeah. Meet Jimothy. Yes, Jimothy, a raccoon so uniquely shaped, the internet immediately decided that's not a raccoon. People thought it was a cryptid, a tiny Bigfoot, a cursed meatball. One guy probably looked at the picture and yelled, "Enhance!" as if CSI was about to reveal Jimothy had been stealing catalytic converters. Turns out a veterinary expert said Jimothy, appropriate name, by the way, has a spinal deformity, but otherwise he's healthy, he's eating, he's surviving, he's living his best raccoon life. Good. I'm happy for him. But, I mean, he looks like every middle-aged dad ever helping one friend move a couch. He walks like he pays property taxes. He has the posture of somebody who spent 20 years assembling IKEA furniture without reading the instructions. He isn't hiding treasure. He's hiding lower back pain. And I love how the internet immediately jumps to it's definitely supernatural, dude. No. Sometimes nature just says, let's make this one memorable. Meanwhile, the raccoon is just trying to knock over garbage cans in peace. He doesn't know he's famous. He doesn't know people are making memes. He's just thinking, where's the pizza crust? Honestly, he might be the most emotionally stable character in today's episode. Think about it. He isn't diving into portable toilets. He isn't surfing trains naked. He isn't buying celebrity trash. He's just being a raccoon. In 2026, that counts as responsible behavior. Hey, Timothy, never change unless your chiropractor says otherwise. Now let's visit the future, which apparently looked at common sense and filed for divorce. China hosted a full-size humanoid robot fighting tournament because apparently someone watched every robot apocalypse movie ever made and misunderstood it as an instruction manual. During one fight, a robot named Matador gets its head kicked completely off. Gone. Detached. Airborne. Meanwhile, the robot keeps fighting. No head, no eyes, no idea where it is. Just swinging punches into empty space like it still thinks it's winning. Meanwhile, I stubbed my pinky toe on the coffee table and suddenly I'm negotiating with the universe. Maybe today is not my day. This robot loses an entire head and says, round two? Who approved this? Some engineer had to watch that happen and say, excellent, exactly as designed. No, exactly as designed is the scary part. Can we maybe build one that shuts off when pieces start flying away? You know, just a thought. Picture the product meeting. Engineer number one goes, the robot continued fighting after decapitation. Engineer number two, outstanding. Engineer number three, should we fix that? Engineer number one, why? Why? Because the rest of us enjoy sleeping. Every science fiction movie starts exactly like this. Step one, look what our robot can do. Step two, we've lost control. Step three, your toaster develops opinions. Your refrigerator starts unionizing. Your vacuum cleaner demands paid vacation. And your thermostat starts judging your lifestyle. I've noticed you've ordered pizza 4 nights this week. Mind your business, thermostat. The only thing keeping me calm is knowing these robots still need batteries. Although, considering today's stories, somebody's probably trying to power them with sweat. And that's the moment I move into the woods. So far today, we've had a 116-year library return, a raccoon that's become an internet celebrity, and a headless robot that refused to quit. Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the halfway point. If you're thinking, surely, Tony, it can't get any stranger. You sweet, optimistic soul. We're just getting warmed up. Now, if a robot losing its head in a boxing match wasn't enough to make you question our life choices, good news. We're making more of them. Because apparently humanity looked at the robot apocalypse warnings and said, interesting concerns. Anyway, how many can we manufacture by Friday? Reports have surfaced that UBTech is preparing mass production of humanoid robots. 6 feet tall, artificial intelligence, synthetic skin, human like facial expressions. Let me stop right there. Why? Why? Why do we keep giving robots faces? Nobody asked for that. Nobody looked at a washing machine and said, you know what would make this better? Emotional eyes. I don't need my microwave looking disappointed when I heat up leftover pizza at 2 a.m. I don't need my vacuum cleaner staring at me like it's keeping a file. Interesting. Tony has consumed nachos 3 nights this week. Yes, vacuum, because unlike you, I don't have a tiny dirt prison inside my stomach. These companies always say, don't worry, they're friendly. But that's what every movie says right before the music gets scary. Nobody ever in history has ever said, relax, the robot uprising will be extremely polite. No. It's always, we come in peace. And suddenly, your smart doorbell is asking why you haven't opened the door. Your refrigerator knows your eating habits. Your car knows your location. And your robot assistant is standing there saying, Tony, I noticed you haven't updated your emergency contact information. Why? Because my emergency contact is currently unplug the robot. We are literally building the exact machines Hollywood spent 50 years warning us about. And our response is, yeah, but this one has better battery life. Folks, I don't feel I don't fear robots because they're smarter than us. I fear robots because they're smarter than us. And they have access to customer service software. Speaking of machines getting a little too involved in our business, let's talk about Waymo. 2 teenagers in California were detained after a driverless taxi reported unruly behavior happening inside the vehicle. That's right. The car snitched. The automobile became a witness. The sedan turned into a neighborhood watch program with cup holders. Imagine explaining this in 1996. One day, cars will drive themselves. People would say, amazing, no more traffic. No, wait, it gets better. The car has cameras inside. For safety? Yes. Can it call the police? Yes. People would have said, absolutely not. But here we are. The car isn't just driving you anymore, it's evaluating you. Your grandfather's old pickup truck never judged anybody. That thing barely knew what year it was. You could put anything in that truck. Tools, groceries, a suspicious amount of plywood. The truck didn't care. But modern cars are different. Your vehicle is now basically a rolling office building. Hello, Tony. I've noticed aggressive behavior. No, you haven't. You've noticed I hit a pothole. Mind your business. The wildest part, the car doesn't even have a driver. There is no human sitting there thinking, should I report this? No. The car is just like, interesting. Humans are acting strange, initiating paperwork. Imagine you're getting caught because your getaway vehicle filed a complaint. So, what brought you here today? My car. Your car? Yeah, my Uber turned me in. The machines aren't taking over. They're becoming middle management. And honestly, that might be more terrifying. Now, after robots, AI, and cars becoming tattletales, let's take a moment to celebrate humanity's greatest achievement: competitive fish stick eating. Because nothing says the peak of civilization has arrived like watching a person aggressively negotiate with frozen seafood. A British man named Nathan Davies broke a Guinness World Record by eating 15 fish sticks in 1 minute. 15 in 60 seconds. Folks, that's not a meal. It's a seafood emergency. It's a food avalanche. That's your stomach filing a formal complaint. Imagine you're training for this. Somewhere there's a guy waking up every morning. Today I will become the greatest fish finger athlete who ever lived. His friends are like, why? History demands it. Nobody. History demanded electricity. History demanded medicine. History demanded putting wheels on luggage. Nobody looked at a fish stick and said, one day this will be someone's Super Bowl. But here we are. The man admitted he was proud of the record, but maybe less proud that it involved fish fingers. Honestly, that's fair. Imagine your grandchildren. Grandpa, tell us about your greatest achievement. Well, kids, I changed the world. How? I defeated 15 breaded seafood tubes in 60 seconds. Exactly. Somewhere, I have to believe a nutritionist just felt a disturbance in the universe. His throat probably needed its own rescue mission. You don't eat that many fish sticks. You survive them. Your digestive system doesn't process that. It holds a meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an incident. At least give the man credit. Most people leave behind a legacy. He left behind a very confused bathroom. So let's recap. Today we have learned robots can lose their heads and keep fighting. Robots may soon have faces. Cars can report you, and humans can turn fish sticks into an extreme sport. Aliens watching the Earth are not invading at all. They're sitting back with popcorn saying, nope, let's see where this goes. Yeah. And unfortunately, we still got 4 more stories, including a Michelin star restaurant that took natural ingredients way too literally. A mysterious donation box discovery, and technology that wants to turn sweat into electricity because apparently even our armpits are getting promoted. So so now let's visit the world of fine dining. A magical place where people pay hundreds of dollars to eat portions so small you need a microscope and a treasure map. Tonight's tasting menu includes a single pea, a decorative leaf, a mysterious foam that costs $40, and apparently sometimes ants. Yes. A famous South Korean restaurant with 2 Michelin stars found itself in hot water after reports that live ants were being used as garnish on desserts. Live ants. Now, folks, I understand farm to table. I understand fresh ingredients. But there is a very important line between this came from a local garden and this came from the sidewalk outside the building. I mean, imagine paying hundreds of dollars for a luxury dessert. The waiter approaches. Tonight's final course, a beautiful chocolate creation topped with, and there's a dramatic pause, ants. Sir, I did not spend my paycheck to eat what I accidentally stepped on walking into the restaurant. The wild thing about high-end restaurants is the language. A normal person finds a bug in their food. Excuse me, there is an insect in my meal. A fancy restaurant finds a bug. Ah, yes, our woodland garnish has arrived. No, that's not garnish. That is a tiny employee who wandered into the wrong department. Somewhere, there's an ant telling his coworkers, "Guys, I finally got promoted. Where are you working now? A Michelin star restaurant. What is your job?" "Apparently, I am chocolate seasoning." Look, I'm I'm all for creativity, y'all. I really am. Food should absolutely be exciting. But if my dessert starts moving, I am not calling it innovative. I'm calling it a situation. And the restaurant could face serious consequences, which means somewhere a lawyer had to write the sentence. The defendant is accused of knowingly adding ants to expensive dessert. Imagine explaining that job. What kind of lawyer are you? Corporate law? Criminal law? No, ant dessert law. 2026, a year where even insects are getting five-star dining experiences before most humans. Now, this next story is a bit darker, but it also shows something important. Sometimes your instincts are trying to tell you something. A resident in Odessa, Texas, spent weeks noticing a terrible smell coming from a clothing donation box. Weeks. Now, folks, there are certain smells that you ignore. A dumpster in July, okay. A garbage truck driving by, sure, absolutely. A mysterious metal box on the side of the road that smells like something went horribly wrong, maybe investigate this one. But apparently, the smell became part of the neighborhood, like a horrible new landmark. Welcome to the community. Over there is the park. Down the street is the grocery store. And don't forget the donation box of absolute concern. Eventually, police opened the container and discovered a deceased person inside. Authorities said there was no indication of foul play. The biggest takeaway here: trust your senses. Your nose is basically a biological alarm system. Your brain installed it millions of years ago. It didn't say detect danger, but only if it's convenient. It said, hey, buddy, something is wrong. You know, the human body is amazing. Your ears hear danger, your eyes see danger. Your nose says, boss, I have questions, and we ignore it. Humans are absolutely incredible. We can build rockets. We can create artificial intelligence. We can communicate instantly around the planet. But sometimes we still need to remember, maybe investigate the weird smell. For real, y'all. So, so now I want to talk about technology. Scientists at the Tokyo University of Science have developed a wearable patch that can generate electricity from human sweat. That's right, sweat. Human perspiration. The thing we have spent thousands of years trying to remove is now apparently valuable. Great. Fan freaking tastic. My body has been secretly carrying a power plant this whole time. Nobody told me. All these years, I've been buying batteries, charging cables, power banks. Meanwhile, my armpits have been sitting there like, hey, we could have helped. Imagine the future. Your phone dies. You're at 2%. Your friend says, you need a charger? No. A solar panel? No. A portable battery? No. Then what? I need to run laps around the block until my elbow powers my phone. Technology has officially become ridiculous. First, we had electricity, then solar, then wind, now sweat. At this rate, by 2035, your phone battery will depend on whether you remembered deodorant. Hey, Tony, why is your phone dead? I showered. You showered? Yes. Well, there's your problem. The worst part, you know, someone is already trying to monetize this. Some startup meeting is happening right now. Okay, team, hear me out. What? Sweat powered phone cases. Brilliant. Also, yes, gym membership required. Because imagine having to explain this at the store. I need a new phone charger. What kind? One compatible with my nervous breakdown and upper back sweat. Technology has come a long way. I mean it. Unfortunately, it's taken a very, very strange road. And finally, we end today with a high-speed pursuit. A dangerous criminal, a suspect on the run, a threat to public safety, a tiny Shetland pony. Yes, a miniature horse escaped its enclosure in San Jose and was spotted casually walking down a residential street. The police responded because apparently someone had to restore order. Imagine the dispatch call. Officer, what is the situation? We have a loose animal. A dog? No. Coyote? No. Large aggressive animal? No. Then what? A tiny horse. How tiny? like suspiciously adorable. Officers located the pony and safely returned it. The department even joked about the horsepower of their patrol cars helping catch it. And honestly, respect, because somewhere a police officer had to put on the serious face, the same face they use during major emergencies, walk outside, see a tiny pony, and say, all right, let's do this. The pony probably wasn't even running. It probably was just enjoying freedom, thinking, finally, I get to see the neighborhood. Meanwhile, the cops are behind it like, don't make us escalate. And imagine being that pony. Your big adventure lasted 3 hours. You made the news. You got escorted home. You are officially the most famous animal in the neighborhood. And you still probably got grounded. So, what did we learn today? Don't dive into portable toilets. Don't buy mystery celebrity garbage. Don't surf trains without pants. Return library books before your grandchildren inherit the problem. Respect the raccoon. Maybe don't create headless fighting robots. Don't let your car become your supervisor. Be careful with competitive fish sticks. Question desserts that crawl. Trust your nose. Don't underestimate your sweat. And if you see a tiny horse running down the street, just remember, somewhere, a police department is about to have the weirdest Tuesday of its career. This has been yet another episode of Big Tony Speaks, where the news is real, the planet is confusing, and apparently humanity is just one bad decision away from powering a robot with armpits. I'm Big Tony, and I am done speaking. I'm out of here. Y'all have a great day. God bless you all. God bless America. Lord knows this country needs it. And hit that like, thumbs up, whatever you want to call it. Follow if you're not already following. And come back and see me Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 p.m. and Sunday morning at 9:30 a.m. Y'all have a great one. I am out of here.